Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 304. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Matt. Oh wait, he's not here again. He's not here again. My other co-host, Kresh, is here though. Kresh, how are you?
I think that's mean to Matt P. It's not his fault he's not here this week. I see what you're doing. I get it. Low blow, not his fault.
So okay,
it's my fault.
But by saying it's not his fault, is it my fault?
No, it's my fault.
So
I'm
it's your
taking full
fault.
responsibility. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not actually your fault though, right? You know that, right?
Yeah, but if
Like,
it was to
we
be
didn't discuss
anybody's
the time, so it's definitely not your fault. So for people not wondering, we're recording the show late this week for a number of reasons. Number one, we usually record on a Tuesday, but I was at a funeral, my granddad's funeral, on the Monday, so I just wasn't in the mood to record a podcast, if I'm being totally honest with you. And there wasn't that much news either. Like, if something big had happened, I would have brought myself up and made it happen. But nothing's really happening in the industry. You're going to see later on in the show. Might be a very short one this week, let's be honest. So for that, we couldn't record on our normal Tuesday day where Patreon supporters would get early, etc, etc, etc. Instead, we were like, oh, we'll record it. We was like, oh, we'll record Friday. I think we said we record Friday. Or did we kind of tangentially say we were okay. Yeah.
We didn't set like a confirmed day. I think it was like we could do Friday, we could do Thursday, and we didn't talk after that point where we had messaged it, and we didn't set a time either.
So it was just like, I think let me say it like this. Me and Matt assumed we were going to do it on Friday. So what would have happened normally is Chris wouldn't have been here this week. But unfortunately, myself and Matt haven't played Halo Infinite. So we have to have Chris on the show. And then Chris was like, well, what day are we doing it? So I said Sunday. So here we are. Here is your show. That is why it's late. I apologize. To be honest, can I be 100% honest? We didn't get like loads of tweets. Got one tweet saying, yo, where's the show? But it made me feel good. It made me feel real good. It made me feel special, you know? Where it's like, they like us. There's a person out there, don't get me wrong, I see the numbers, I know you guys like us, but there's a person out there in the world that's like, hey, where's my show? I listen to this every Friday, and I'm like, and a part of me just felt nice knowing that you guys cared, you know?
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
That's just me. If you didn't know, My Xbox and Me is our weekly Xbox podcast here on youtube.com/MyXboxandMe and all podcast services. You can get the show early over on patreon.com/MCFixer when we can do it early, of course. And obviously that helps keeps the light on, keep us going, keeps us growing, you know, all that good stuff. If you don't want to pay any money, don't stress. It is free, usually every Friday. We are still yet to miss a week ever. That's 304 weeks on a roll. So, thank you. Big shout out to our Patreon producers, Aaron God and FNH Paul. And last but not least, please go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please, pretty please. We're super close to 1,500 subscribers over there. And, you know, it would be nice. We're like 90 away. So if everybody listening to this, it would actually go way past that, and we'd probably be over 2,000 subscribers. But if you are just someone who watches the podcast, I get it. But if you've got a YouTube account, do me a favour. Just go hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying, Kresh?
I don't think that's too hard of an ask, I'm going to be honest. I think that's really doable.
Look, hey, we like you. We don't want to give you money on Patreon. I get it. I mean, it hurts. And could we do with the money? Of course. But I get it. A free subscription, clicking a button. That seems doable.
Absolutely.
Seems doable. And while you're there, go follow me on Twitch and go follow Chris on Twitch. Oh, wait, I'm asking too much. My bad. My bad. I'm sorry. I took the mickey. I'm sorry. Chris, how you been?
I've been good. You know, fun weekend. Fun weekend playing game.
Okay. Playing a little video game called Halo.
Playing a little bit of Halo, yeah.
Small
indie title. Might have not heard of it. Yeah.
A small little indie title, you know, self-published by a company, you know.
Yeah.
What else has been good? Chris, we haven't spoken properly. Really?
No. Over a week.
No, but we haven't really spoken properly in like ages.
What do you mean by spoken properly?
Like, no, we had like a little mini like MC Fixer Chris talk after last week's episode where Matt P just ran away. No, Matt P weren't here last week either.
Yeah, he wasn't here.
Man, we should just fire him. You know?
People like him now.
I do like him. That's a great point. Great point. That's why I haven't got rid of you yet, because people like him, apparently. But we haven't, I don't know, I feel like we've not had, like, our normal deep dive chat. How are ya? Man, this industry sucks. You know, we haven't had a deep one of those lately, you know?
Yeah, we haven't had those in a very long time, and those as time has gone by. You know what it was? Those conversations were long sometimes, and they were very easy outs from doing other stuff.
Do you know what? You're 100% right. I have gotten better at doing the actual work of my job now, instead of being like, I'll do it later. So you're right. Maybe when I move again, which I've been talking about on this podcast for probably about 25 years, kids have gone through like primary school, nursery, reception, primary school. For Americans, that would be first grade, second grade, third grade, and like graduated by the time I fucking move out of this house. It's a joke. So wait, last week was my birthday week, right?
Yes.
No, it can't have been.
Yeah.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We recorded
week was my birthday week.
On your birthday, I think. No, we didn't record
on the day after.
Yeah.
Day after. Because we were meant to record on my birthday, but I ended up doing a 12-hour stream. Thank you to everyone that came out and supported. We're going to talk about some of that stuff in the games I've been playing and stuff very soon. But yeah, I just thought we'd, but everything good, yeah?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, let's get into the topic of the show then, for the reason people click this damn show. Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
I've been playing it, of course, because I'm the biggest Halo fan on Earth.
I saw.
And, can I be honest?
Yeah.
I don't really get FOMO or, like, jealousy about many things. But when I started seeing everybody getting this invite to play it, and at first I was like, oh, it doesn't matter, it's NDA'd. Oh, it doesn't matter, you can't stream it. And then I saw a tweet like, oh yeah, feel free to share your experience. I was like, mother, god damn it. God damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Honestly, I was the same way. So the first day they started sending them out, I saw people saying they got them. At first it was like, Ben had told me they were sending out flights. I was like, oh, okay, that means a handful of people will probably get them. Yeah. And then I go on Twitter, somebody I know gets it. I'm like, okay, that's cool, whatever. And just keep going back. And every time I go back, there's another name popping. No, he didn't get in.
Suck it, War Dog. He don't listen to this show. I don't know. It's just fun.
But yeah, I started getting FOMO, and honestly, like that last day before the test is when I got mine, and I'm like, thank God, I finally got in.
Honestly, I'm glad someone got it out of us lot, because it was just like, so okay, can I? Moment of truth.
Yeah.
Moment of truth between me and you, and just me and you, and no one's listening.
No one's listening at all. It's just me.
I didn't even sign up. I didn't know there was a sign up thing.
I'll be honest. Part of me might have thought like Fix might have just not signed up.
I didn't.
That's
I just felt. But me, I'm MC Fixer Crush. You know when you type in "I'm playing a role right now," it's a joke. Everyone understand I'm joking. I'm not an egotistical monster. Back to me pretending to be an egotistical monster. You know when you type in Xbox in the GIFs?
Yeah.
My face pops up.
That's you?
That's me. Holding that Xbox.
A lot better back then.
And I'm like, I didn't have a beard. How dare you? I look way better now. How dare you, sir? How dare you?
No, that's true. You know what? That's true.
All jokes aside, a part of me was like, oh, yeah, that's probably something I should have signed up for. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
A part of me thought, well,
I think with your PC
I know the right people
as well, you would have got in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't think of that.
And like a lot of people were signing up with their PC. So the way you had to do it is you had to run
diagnostics.
On your PC and send them the file and everything. Most people weren't doing that.
Bet
you knew the word and I did it.
Hey dummy. This is how it feels, Crash. This is how it feels. I knew a word that you didn't. Yes. This is a great podcast, man. I love it.
I don't know if I can do this podcast anymore.
Yeah, I know. It hurts,
I don't feel complete anymore.
Yeah, go on.
Most people weren't submitting them. So a lot of people who could have gotten in probably didn't, just off the fact that they didn't submit that.
Yeah, so I'm sure they wanted to test like on different rigs with different specs and blah, 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 blah. Got you. Well, let's actually talk about the game itself, because again, you're the only person. I've got a few questions that I'd like answered. I did watch they did like a day before they put out that breakdown video thing where they went in depth with everything Halo Infinite. They showed off some gameplay with a couple of pro players playing, I believe, or at least a pro player playing. And I was watching it. Okay, let's go serious for a second. I was watching it and I was like, okay, it looks like more Halo, which that can either be taken for better or worse, right? As someone who's not Mr. Halo, doesn't really care about the franchise in the way that most people probably listening to this do. Like, if you're an Xbox guy, you love Halo usually. I am definitely the outlier of that. I'm not into it as much. So watching what they showed, I was just a bit like, okay, it looks good. It looks good. It doesn't look amazing. It seems like it plays well. It doesn't look like it plays any different to any other Halo. Nah, that is just me. I've always been of the opinion of, I don't like people who judge things without playing things. So, because I just think it's stupid. I think it makes you look stupid. It makes everyone comes off dumber in that situation in a way, because you don't know how it feels because you've not played it. So how does it look? How does it actually play without watching it through YouTube compressed? Like, talk to me.
So I played on the Xbox Series S, and it looks good on the Xbox Series S. Mind you, because I was playing through a capture card, I was playing it at 1080p, not the 1440p that my monitor is.
Got ya.
Because the capture card either goes 4K or 1080p.
Yeah.
It looked good still, regardless of it being 1080p. I think it looked really good. Probably the best Halo's looked at this point. I think it was a little bit of a tangent, but it was a little bit buggy here and there. I will say that, like, first thing out the gate, it is a test. It is early. It's an early build. I think it's a 3-month-old build on top of that. So all the bugs, and they were testing crossplay and stuff like that. So there were a couple of issues, but they weren't super prominent. Just wanted to put that out there. But it looked good, and it played and felt really good. So it felt as a mix between Halo 2 and 3 and Halo 5, in that you have more mobility than Halo 2 and 3, similar to Halo 5, but it isn't as much mobility as Halo 5, and it isn't as hectic as Halo 5. So it felt like a really good balance between the two. Because in Halo 5, you have the jetpack where you can do the dashes, and if you're running, you can do the bash with the run, the extended melee and whatnot. That's out. That is not in the game. Apparently, there's a thruster you can get as equipment, which I'm assuming is the dash system that you can use it as an equipment piece, which I think is cool. The grapple hook feels absolutely phenomenal. It feels really, really good to use. Most of the new guns as well all feel really good. The Commando and the Bulldog, both new guns. The Bulldog being a new shotgun, Commando being a new assault rifle.
His name's War Dog, not Bulldog.
Oh, War Dog, the new shotgun. Yeah, good one. They're both new guns, and they both feel really good. The guns overall, in general, I think feel really good. Aiming down with the guns, which has usually been not the best thing in Halo, I feel like this is the best that has felt. It's still, I think, shooting outside of aiming in, for the most part, is still the best in Halo. I think that's the best way to play it. Okay. But it does feel better, and that is, I think, a legitimate option this time around, where, for the most part, for me at least, it always felt as sort of a gimmick that you could do, but it doesn't really help at all. With the exception of a few things like the sniper and the BR.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw like they showed like off the BR gun in like a view mode sort of thing of checking out the guns, and saw it going around on Twitter as well, like pictures of it, and I'm like, oh damn, the guns look really good in this game. Like, they look really nice. And I think that's kind of the biggest takeaway from watching some gameplay myself, was like, this looks really good and it looks really fun, but everything in my brain still goes back to, but how is it going to be Call of Duty? How is it going to be Apex? How is it going to be insert game there, Fortnite, let's say? And like, again, you've played a tiny bit, you've played against bots, like you only really have like a tiny taste of what this is. Yeah. But from what and it's kind of a loaded question, I guess, but like, do you think there's even a chance that from what you've played so far that this actually can become the Halo of what we remembered 1 and 2 being, and maybe even 3.
Yeah. I don't think, I think it's good enough to compete with those games. Let me be 100% honest. I think the way, at least my time playing with it, I think it was fun enough and I enjoyed it enough to compete with any of those games. I think the game runs into the problem of it not being available on every platform. Like if you look at Fortnite and you look at Apex, Fortnite and Apex, especially because those games are on mobile now, those games are available everywhere. Like the chances of beating those games and even Call of Duty, because that it is on everything, is so difficult. I think it being free to play does help, but I don't think it's this crazy game changer, to be honest.
Got you. So, because a lot of people in my chat when we were watching the trailer together was just like, people who are not even interested in Halo are going to be interested. Has the game changed enough from, let's say you're someone like me, right? And I played Halo 1, I've played Halo 2, I've beat Halo 1, 2, 3, and ODST, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember any of them, but I've beaten a lot of them. I've got the achievements to prove it, God damn it. But do you think they've done enough new from, again, I know loaded question again, from what you've played, do you think there's enough new here and enough that it either looks different or plays different enough that people of old Halos are going to be like, yeah, this is what I want? Or does it feel a little bit too close to what Halo 5 was?
So far, the Halo community in general, at large, is very, very positive on the...
Forget the community. I want to know what Chris thinks, all right?
But that's what I'm saying. I think for the old, you ask the old players and the community at large is the old players.
What I'm saying is like not so much the old anybody who was into Halo is gonna love this game. I already feel that.
Yeah.
I feel the energy around the game, it being free to play, just what we've seen so far, the guns, blah blah blah. I feel like people are going to be willing to give this a chance, 100%, no matter what. I'm talking about someone maybe like me, who is like, am I going to come in and be like, oh, this is a fresh feeling Halo, and oh, this feels da-da-da, or is it going to be a case of I'm going to jump in and go, okay, it's more Halo?
Ooh, that's a good question. Partly, I do think there'll be...
It's what I do, baby.
It's what you do. I think partly it will be a case of it's just Halo, it's more Halo, but I do think one thing, I was actually having a talk with Ben about this yesterday. The 3-for-3 in particular is really good at is balancing the game in a way that it's fun for skilled players, but also fun for new players. And one of that is every weapon so far that I've used in the game is viable. The AR that you spawn with that normally was just a weapon that you drop actually seems usable, and it's something that you can keep this time around. So I do think something like that does help the player who's like, I've tried Halo, it wasn't really me. Because Halo kind of had the Gears of War thing, where Gears of War you always use the Nasher, and Halo it's always you have to use the Bayar or the Magnum or something like that. There's a high skill weapon, where now the AR finally feels like it's completely viable next to all of its peers. And I think that is sort of the in for a player like you to possibly like the game. Obviously, if you don't like Halo at the end of the day, it still feels and plays like Halo. It's still an arena shooter, which some people just... Arena shooters are an old way to do games, and some people just don't like them at this point.
So, okay, I guess does this feel like a typical arena shooter from what you've played? Obviously, that is what it is, but does it have more of a modern take on it, or is it just a case of no, that Halo is kind of gone back and staying true to what it is, and they're not changing up that so much? Again, you only got to play one map, right? And it's against bots.
Three maps.
Oh, it's three maps. Okay.
It's against bots, but let me just speak on the way they did bots. So they have multiple levels of bots, and the first level, pretty easy. Still better than your average bot, better than like the Gears of War bots that are like randomly 360 and kill you, right? These bots at least seem somewhat cohesive for the most part. But as you get as they progressively level up, you start seeing them doing actual like tactics Halo players do, of like throwing grenades at the ground. What was that?
Jumping around corners and stuff like that, or
jumping around corners isn't really a Halo thing. You jump and fight.
I don't play Halo.
I'm just saying that's a Call of Duty thing.
I'm trying to do what I do, this is why. Look, so I can't even say. Damn it! I'll tell once I can say. I'll tell you guys something, but I can't say yet. I can't say yet. So carry on.
But they start doing like Halo player tactics, right? and they'll like react differently whether you have power weapons and all this stuff. The bots are actually like, instead of it being a meme of like you're playing against bots, it's like they're well constructed bots, and I think the hardest difficulty bots are supposed to come out today, which will be really interesting because they were actually challenging yesterday. Good. It's not like they were completely like a breeze to go through. Especially when you first spawned in, you'd walk to like the middle of the map and they'd all be grouped up because they're bots and they all do the same exact thing. And if you're the guy who runs ahead, and I'm always the guy, I'm like, I'm gonna run in and have some fun. You just run into 4 of them and it's like a firing squad and you're like, oh, I guess I died first. But yeah, the bots are actually like really well done. I do want to say that that I do think the bots will be a way for players who don't normally get Halo and have a struggle of learning the basic concepts and don't watch YouTube and all this stuff, obviously, for a way for them to pick up on stuff you can do in Halo against a level of competition that they're probably more comfortable with.
Interesting. So the multiplayer seems like it's going to be really good.
Yes. Yeah, I think the multiplayer will be really good. Onto your point about the arena bit, I do think it's just typical arena shooter. I don't think it does. It's a lot of quality of life stuff with the way weapons spawn, and there's always a indicator to tell you how long the weapons has left to spawn. You'll see what weapon spawns. You'll see grenades, all this stuff. Quality of life stuff. You can ping now, which great. The ping's on the down D-pad if you play on controller, which is just awkward, but there's nowhere else for it to go, so it's kind of like, where do you put it? I think this is where the Elite controller comes in, and if you have them back paddles, I think it'll be absolutely fantastic. There were a few leaks of files of one of the announcers saying Battle Royale. Now,
sorry.
This could be a legit Battle Royale. Or this could be something for Forge. I have a feeling it's something for Forge and something they're testing out, maybe like unique audios for Forge and stuff like that. I want it to be a battle royale.
That's not how we get the clips, all right? Can you get us a clip?
They announced the battle royale for Halo, guys.
Thank you. Wow, it happened. Thank gosh. There's our YouTube short.
I think the way the game works and the way the equipment work and all that stuff, like the grappling hook and what if the thruster pack is actually good, I think a BR in this game in particular would actually be really, really good. Because the more I played it, the more I was like, I wish there was a BR for this. I wish there was a BR for this. I think so, right? Because when they made the comment about like, oh, we're not doing BRs,
the only BR we have in is the battle rifle.
And that was kind of earlier in BR lifespan when BRs were questionable. Nobody knew if they would really survive that long and all this stuff.
We had PUBG and we had Fortnite.
Yeah, at the time. And so it's like, if you're Halo and you're like, we have Halo multiplayer, we have one of the most legacied multiplayer modes of all time, and you want us to do a gimmick? No, thank you.
Then he's not saying it now.
Then,
don't beat him up. Don't beat him up. All right?
No.
At Krishna plays on Twitter. Don't beat him up. I mean, from everything I've heard on the streets, media and Twitter, that's the streets for me, Christ. I don't
hardcore streets.
Everything I've heard from the streets and from people in the industry, everyone seems to like the game. Everyone seems to think it looks very good. Everyone thinks it plays very well. It just gets me wondering, man, how's that single player gonna be? How's that single player gonna be?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's gonna play well, and I have a feeling it's actually gonna look pretty nice as well, but how's that story going to be, and is it going to really captivate people? And does it even matter if the multiplayer is now free? Do people even care? We got Game Pass. We got like Xbox. No matter what happens, whether it's good, bad, or anything in between, Xbox have to feed the player base on Game Pass and just people that have invested in their ecosystem. Right? The multiplayer alone could feed these people. Just having a new multiplayer Halo. So imagine the single player actually being good.
And the multiplayer Halo is free for everybody. It's not even like just a Game Pass thing.
Oh no, yeah.
For me, like I think the campaign from what I've played of this, especially like knowing that the grapple hook, the way that they're balancing stuff in the two modes is different. Like they're going through, and the grapple hook will be different in the campaign as opposed because you only get 3 charges of it in the multiplayer for balancing sake, which makes sense. The fact that it'll be different in the campaign, I look at it and I'm like, the sandbox itself, I think will be really, really fun. whether the story's amazing or not. I think some of that pressure gets alleviated off of having a good multiplayer and off of it being on Game Pass. Not to say that it's
I don't like that attitude.
But it's true.
No,
because I get what you're saying.
Right.
I understand.
You are correct. Let's not get it twisted. You are correct, and the reason I say you're correct is because it's shown every day when I play a game in Game Pass. I do not hold it. Don't ask me why. And that doesn't make it right or wrong, but just in my head, if I play a game on Game Pass, you have more chance of me playing it and being very like, this wasn't for me, and putting it down straight away. Whether if I would have bought the damn game at £60 or whatever games cost nowadays, again, I'm so out of touch with the world. Don't even at me, all right? Don't at me. I'm a little bit more of like, okay, this should have been this and this should have been that, and that's why I don't like reviewing games. I like having conversations about games in that way. So yeah, you are right. You're 100% right. It does alleviate a bit of that pressure where we're like, well, it's in Game Pass, and I didn't pay £50 for it or $60 for it. I just played it in Game Pass, which I think that's what Microsoft want as well. That pressure to be taken away.
Because the weird thing with Game Pass, it's sort of like Xbox Live Gold and PlayStation Plus and all these services where it's like you get free games, even though like you're paying for a service. It's not free. You're absolutely paying for a service.
That's right, you are. Don't you fucking forget.
People have that mentality of I didn't pay for this game. Yes. This game is free, and they judge it differently. That's in general how it works.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance, unfortunately, to check out the Ascent, but I feel like that's kind of where that's at right now, where people are like, we'll talk about it in a bit. But yeah, anything we've missed on Halo?
Some nitty gritty stuff with like the way the game works, but I don't think
talk
the movement,
what?
The movement, the sliding and the jumping feel really good, and the way it works is there's definitely going to be a movement pattern that'll probably be super meta with the game of you sliding, jumping, and all this stuff. Bunny hopping is great, which is usually the case in the game. I don't feel like it's usually Halo. Bunny hopping feels more floaty in that you don't move horizontally as fast for me, and I'm not a great Halo player, so somebody's probably gonna be like, that's not how it works. You always moved really fast when you were jumping. What are you talking about? But for me, it feels like you move super fast when jumping now. Okay. The game seems to put a lot of agency on the player, which I really like. You're constantly making decisions on what should do and what's the best path. When you pick up the overshield and the stealth now, they don't activate right away. You have to pick them up and actively use them, which gives you a window of opportunity. When somebody picks up the overshield and usually they become an unkillable tank, you're like, I got a moment to kill him before he uses it. Also, overshield doesn't seem as powerful. Let's see. Is there anything else to talk about? No, map design's really cool with all three maps. I think like all around the board, every single map a good map so far. None of the maps are bad. None of the maps have stuff that are like, I really wish it didn't work this way. And mind you, again, against bots, who knows if you're playing with real players, if there's something on the maps that they'll learn how to abuse.
They'll find the cheese.
Is always possible. They'll find the cheese.
The players find the cheese. They're like rats, mate. They will find that cheese, let me tell you.
Customization. We didn't talk customization, right?
No, we haven't spoken about.
Customization has you pick a base armor in customization, and they only gave us one during the test, and then you can customize pieces of that armor now.
Okay.
And one of the reasons they do this is because it doesn't work the way Halo normally works, in that you pick a primary and a secondary and a tertiary color to get your armor colors. Now it's actual patterns you have to unlock and you pick, and it opens way for more unique designs in the color pattern, which I like.
Okay.
A good amount of the community likes, but then there's always the part of the community that's like, I just want the old system. I just want to be able to pick 3 colors, and it's like they have the base colors in the game. So if you just want to be red, they give you that right away, and you can just be a red Spartan the whole time. That's absolutely fine.
So did you get to see any of the Battle Pass stuff in this test?
Yes, the Battle Pass stuff is there. I think it's like a test Battle Pass. I don't necessarily know if this will be like the stuff that's actually there.
Actually in it, yeah.
Yeah. The way I have it right now is 500 XP per level, and that doesn't seem to change at all. It seems to consistently be 500 XP per level. You have a certain amount of weekly missions you can do to get XP. You have a certain amount of daily missions you can do to get XP. And aside from that, you cannot get XP for the Battle Pass. So you don't get it for just normally playing games, which is how it works. I feel like in most BRs. Actually, no, it doesn't work like that in Call of Duty, and it doesn't work like that in Fortnite, right?
Yeah, it does. It does work like in Call of Duty and Fortnite.
Oh, so you don't get XP per match?
No, you do.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
So wait, would you? And Halo, you don't.
In Halo, you don't. You only get it for missions completed.
Okay, sorry, yeah. So,
which is an Apex thing.
Okay.
I think that's the way it works in Fortnite actually as well. You have to complete challenges to get the levels in the battle pass. You get XP for the challenge.
No, but you do get it.
Okay.
Do you know what?
You might be right. You've played more Fortnite than me.
I haven't played it in a very long time, but I'm pretty sure. Don't get me wrong. You get more XP for doing the challenges. Go find 10 chickens. Get 10 headshots with a sniper, whatever the challenge is. But I'm pretty sure you do get like an over. No, you do. You definitely do. Mate, actually, I say definitely. I might get called out. So let's just say you do. I think.
Okay. So in Halo, the way it seems to work is that there isn't an unlimited supply of XP, which I wish the daily missions, just every time you completed, they gave you a new one. And it's like a little bit of XP just so you feel like the more I play this, the more I'll grind it no matter what. That capping at some point.
Why do you think that is? Is that just to get people to keep coming back every day?
I think it's because the battle pass lasts forever. And mind you, they said that the purpose of this test is to test a lot of the systems like the way the battle pass works. So that's something that could change. But I think it's the fact that the battle pass isn't it's not here and it goes. It lasts forever. So I think they want to try and get some sort of longevity out of it.
So
which, to be fair...
Go on, sorry.
To be fair, I feel like it's not a horrible trade-off, but because there's no traditional level, the more you play, you don't necessarily always feel rewarded. It's like once I play, I want to see something go up, be it a level or a battle pass or whatever it is, and not having any, not having the gamification of it, happening is sort of, I feel like could be a letdown in the long run.
Interesting. Okay. Overall, sounds very positive.
Yeah. I enjoyed it a lot.
Looking forward to when the game officially comes out. Obviously, there'll be an open beta and things relatively soon-ish, you'd assume.
Yeah.
Because this is the test flight stuff. You'd assume there'll be an alpha and a beta still.
They said they're going to be doing more test flights, larger test flights as well.
So maybe that's what they just do.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's free to play also gives them the access to we're not ruining a game that we could sell. It's like we can just keep doing tests for the game and people can keep testing what we do with the systems to make sure that by the time it launches, it's as good as possible.
Fair enough. Let's get into Fixer's Sack, shall we? And answer some of these beautiful questions. Remember, you can email in myxboxandmepodcast@gmail.com. Ask your question, and we'll go check the email as well as the questions we've already got here. First one is from The Broken Gamer, who says, with the news of PS5 hitting 10 million consoles moved, do you guys think the quote, first to 10 million console wins, end quote, Peter Moore on console sales, still applies during this current console generation? Ooh, interesting. I haven't thought about that quote in a while.
Yeah.
Do you think? That's a not. Do you have? Go on.
No, not right now. Not while consoles are limited. I think. So we won't really know this until 2023 or something like that. Whenever consoles are readily available. At that point, I think whichever console is harder to come by, I think that'll be the one that quote unquote wins. But I feel the thing with this year is I don't know if you could say either console lost so far. And I don't know if you will be able to say either console lost because they're both doing huge numbers.
So my thing is, that is an old way of thinking. And Peter Moore has obviously been out of the game for a while now. And he said that a long time ago as well. Probably, I don't even, was this when he was at EA or if that was when he was at Xbox? I can't remember when that quote was said. But I think, honestly, Game Pass has changed all of that now. We're going to talk about Xbox later on and how much money they're making, which is scary amounts. I don't think it matters in the same way that it used to in terms of first to 10 million or how many consoles you've shipped or any of that. We're in such a, obviously, pandemic, and we're just in such a weird time right now for gaming where it's a case of like, these consoles are still going to be hard to get for the next probably year and a half, if not longer.
Yeah,
so,
I read the chip shortage. Did we do a story on it? We did a story on it, right?
I think so.
That it would be until 2023 where this chip shortage is alleviated.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But number one, congratulations to Sony, because selling 10 million consoles is no small feat, and it's a fantastic achievement for them. When it comes to Xbox, I don't think they'll even announce when they hit 10 million. I can't imagine they're too far behind, though. Maybe it's a weird one, right? Because it comes down to the fact of we don't know how many have been manufactured. All we know is, don't get me wrong, you can pretty much get a Series S now, a little bit more readily available, more than an X. Like, an X is still sold out everywhere on Amazon and other places. People are still picking them up instantaneously. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that quote is now gone. I don't think that quote is... It doesn't really apply in 2021, in my opinion. But that being said, it's just we just live in a different world now. Game Pass and even PlayStation Now for PlayStation and other things, it just isn't that anymore, I don't think.
It's also like Xbox is very much so PC, so they could have Xbox consumers and an Xbox player base with somebody who doesn't even own an Xbox. And once xCloud solidifies itself even more and becomes more consistent, people can consistently play on it, then you have people who are on mobile who are completely in the Xbox ecosystem that do not own an Xbox. So like that, even then the question starts getting more muddled because they are getting a larger player base, they are still getting people to buy their software, and they're not losing money on hardware at that point. Do you consider those people as well? You should, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that we've learned as well, right, which is Xbox lose money on every console sold. So if they can acquire a customer on PC, their cost to entry to get them into their ecosystem is zero, which means everything they earn off them is a profit. Where an Xbox buyer, they lose money on that and then have to recoup it back in the software. So I don't think this quote applies anymore. And I just thank you for the question, Broken Game. Right, I do appreciate it, but I don't think it applies anymore personally. Next one is from Yami. Asked about Halo, but we've just spoken all about that, so sorry Yami, but thank you for your question. Next one's from Greedy Ears, who says, with the Activision Blizzard lawsuit coming to light and recent allegations against their staff and staff at Ubisoft, do you think there is anything that would stop yourself and or the wider public buying a new game you want from the publisher? From Greedy Ears. Quick one on this one, just before we go ahead, because Moody put a comment, and so most people know Moody from the community and stuff like that. Moody put a comment in the My Xbox and Me episode last week, saying how he was disappointed in, I don't know if it was more me or us. I'm the one that makes the show notes and makes the executive decision, so I guess I'll take it, which is disappointed in me for us not talking about Activision, all that stuff. I come down in this weird place when it comes to these stories, because we don't cover all of these stories all of the time. We don't. My thing was twofolded. Number one, we were going to talk about it this week with Matt P on the show, because I don't speak very elegantly on anything. It's just not who I am. It's not my personality. And I think that's kind of why some people enjoy me as well. I'm a bubbly guy. I'm here, there, and everywhere. So sometimes I'm not the right person to speak on very serious issues. And, truth be told, when we did My Xbox and Me last week, I didn't understand the full ramifications of what was happening at Activision. So I didn't feel comfortable coming on my platform and talking about it uneducated. That's not something I wanted to do. So me and Chris decided, we spoke about it before the show, and said we'll post it to next week, which would be this week, and have Matt P on. Matt P speaks very elegantly. I think he's more balanced of the three of us, and it would have made for a better conversation. Me being the, Chris being the, bit slower, I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna calm, I'm gonna talk, blah, blah, blah. And then Matt being just the straight guy, boom, 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 here's the facts, here's the bullshit, blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately, we've not been able to do that yet, just because of other things going on in my life, honestly, and just scheduling issues. Now, to the actual question, I'll repeat it one more time. With Activision Blizzard's lawsuit coming to light and recent allegations against their staff and staff at Ubisoft, do you think there's anything that will stop yourselves or the wider public buying a new game from you want from the publisher? I'll start, Chris, and then you can go after, which, for me, it is very, 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 very hard. Because people have, I did my birthday stream the other day, right? And I had Noble Chairs involved, we had Elgato involved, we had 2K involved, we had Ubisoft involved, we had Aorus involved, and we had Insert Coin involved, right? All companies that I have worked with, all companies that I have partnered with, companies that have paid me in one way or another, right? That I've done work for them for. I find it extremely hard to hold people responsible, a whole wide company responsible for something that they didn't do. I know and have, I won't say friends, but definitely acquaintances at Ubisoft. Obviously, I've worked with them. They were the first company ever to really start giving me game codes to cover their games when I was an absolute nobody. They've invited me to the studio. I've done some Rainbow Six press events. You name it, I've done stuff with Ubisoft. I just did GTV with them, and I hosted their GTV watch-along. That is all Ubisoft owned. So for me, I find it hard to hold those people responsible and hate on those people and punish those people's work when they didn't do anything wrong. Nah, I understand why other people may say, well, you have to hold the whole company responsible, blah, 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 blah. We also sit in a really weird place, my Xbox and me, and myself and Crash, where we're not IGN, we're not GameSpot, we're not Kotaku, nobody comes to us for reviews or news. Like, we talk about news, but that's not what you come to us for. I don't think anyway. Well, that's not why I think you guys come here. Like, the numbers and the cut-off rates show it. Trust me. I've punched a bottle, Crash. I just punched a bottle off of my desk. I apologize.
I'm down a little bit. Calm down.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, but for me, I think it's a case of, to answer the question as a whole, yes, there are things that companies can do to stop me from buying or working with them, obviously. On this one, I'm not playing Call of Duty anymore. I've made that very clear on stream, and I've said that I'm at this current moment in time, until things change and the culture changes at Activision Blizzard, I can quite easily cut myself away from those games. Easily. Because, number one, let's be totally honest, I don't play many of their games anyway. I'm not into Crash, I'm not into Spyro, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, 1 and 2. Call of Duty was probably the only main game that I really cared about. And what has come out about their studio is disgusting. And more and more and more keeps coming out. Like, I'm seeing tweets, I'm seeing people say they brought this up 4 years ago. I'm seeing people say they were crying at their desks to HR, telling them to stop this and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, we're seeing the stories. And that is, it's diabolical. It's diabolical, and it's nuts, and it's crazy, right? So, for me, it's easy for me to go, all right, cool. I'm not interested in playing their games anymore at this current moment in time until things change. That's how I deal with things, but that's not how I expect everyone to deal with things. And that's the one thing I dislike about probably everything that's been going on currently. It's like people are playing Call of Duty still, and people are like jumping in the chat like, how dare you? And I'm like, everyone can handle things in their own way. Again, I'm black and or mixed race, I should say, in the games industry. Do you know how many racist people in this industry? If we kept it a buck and kept it 100, I couldn't work in this industry because most companies are racist. But because it doesn't affect people, we don't see it like that. We know people have been racist. We know people have been sexist. We got to hold those people responsible. Not just everybody that works at the company. Because what we do then does have a knock-on effect to all of their work. Again, at least that's how I am choosing to act. So it will be a case-by-case basis for me, and I will wait to see more information come out before I decide how I'm going to deal with other situations. Crash.
Yeah, I think last week we had a conversation where I was like, I don't think I'm going
to after the pod.
Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
Because of everything that's come out. And then you brought up an interesting point of, at a certain point, if this is your job, sometimes you have to make a decision with stuff like this. And that is a very true statement. I don't know where I land on this case in particular. As of yet, more stuff keeps coming out. So with me, it's constantly like going more and more towards the side of I'm just not going to play Activision Blizzard games. And I think that's a decision everybody has to come to themselves. And to your point, I don't think it's fair if somebody decides to keep playing Call of Duty or whatever it is to judge them on a case of like, I can't believe you're doing that. You're supporting this company. Because realistically, if you look at it, there are a good number of companies you probably support that, like you said, they're racist, they're homophobic, they're sexist, they're whatever this is. They have some part of that in their company. And if we were keeping it a buck,
we know what goes into one of these things.
Yeah,
but we all absolutely. I'm holding an iPhone for people that are wondering. We all know what goes into this bloody thing. We know how it's made. We know, but no, we don't want to hold responsibility there because that affects us. Like, really, what? My phone? How dare they? Because it happens everywhere. We all pick when we're going to have a conscience about certain things and when we want to be outraged. Sorry.
I think it becomes a bit hypocritical for somebody to be like, I can't believe you're supporting this or that. And I think it's fine to like make a choice and then sort of advocate for that choice. I'm not saying 100%. Don't do that. I think absolutely you should do that. Like, if you want to go on Twitter and you want to have conversations with people and be like, oh, you really shouldn't support these games, absolutely fair. But it comes to a point where you start demanding people doing it and then you start viewing them as sort of part of that company, I guess. Like, you are part of the issue. I think that's where it becomes a bit unfair because for some people, games are purely a medium to escape from real life. And once you start saying like, oh no, you got to view everything you do with real life is sort of unfair because you also then wouldn't be using Google, you wouldn't use Facebook, you wouldn't use all these companies who in some sort of way have dubious things about them or whatever it be.
If you dig deep enough, most companies have fucked up shit happen at their company. 100%. Do you know how many NDAs are signed? And how many, what's the word they use for, like, when they put it in a vault and then they just, like, I don't think that's just NDA, but, like, there's non-disclosures, all of these sorts of things. You know what I mean? This stuff happens at so many companies. And again, how you interpret that and how you make decisions your personal decision based on these companies, I think is right. I think it comes down to a weird place for myself, Crash, Matt, anybody who is trying to do this for a living of... Our job is to play games, talk about said games, whether we like or dislike them, and have a conversation around the industry. And that's what we'll do in every way, shape, or form. And then as the owner of my Xbox and me, if Activision Blizzard come to me and say, hey, we want you guys to cover Overwatch 2, I will then go, Crash, would you like to cover Overwatch 2? If Crash then says to me, no, I ain't covering that company, with everything that's going on, I'm then going to go, unfortunately, no thank you. But that's down to us to make a decision, and it's a hard one. Because seriously, if we really broke down every single damn company, I don't think there'd be many games that we'd cover. Because a lot of companies have made fucked up mistakes and make fucked up decisions. So are we now not going to play any of CD Projekt Red's games? Because of all the transphobic stuff? Is that a thing we've decided now we're not doing? No. Because if another Witcher comes out, you're all still going to fucking buy it.
And I think an important note here is I just want to reiterate the fact that we aren't siding with Activision Blizzard. That is absolutely not what it is. What they did is I think saying that it's disgusting,
Yeah,
like
is
the stories that you read, is absolutely an understatement.
100%.
And they have a lot of stuff to answer for, and they've done a lot of really shitty things. I want to get that abundantly clear so nobody gets this twisted. Nobody starts coming at us like, oh, you're a corporate apologist. That is not what this is. Yeah, that is not what this is. This is more so on a case of judging other people if they decide to keep playing these games or covering these games or whatever it is.
We are having a discussion, a conversation between two adult human beings who are trying to figure out what is the right thing to do. We don't know what the right things to do is.
Yeah.
That's or at least I don't. Like, I'll talk for myself. I don't know what the right thing to do is. I don't know. All I know is right now, I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, and I now no longer play Call of Duty. That's all I know. That there was a walkout. I know the stories that I'm reading. I know all the effed up stuff that is happening. I know that black women are treated like absolute trash in this industry. I know that women are treated like absolute trash in this industry. I know that there are a bunch of racists in this industry. I know the fact that we do not hire black people even though they are qualified. I know there are a bunch of sexist, disgusting human beings that are making women feel disgusting in their place of work. And I know that all of that is absolutely wrong and disgusting, and we despise all of that. But do you know what I want to do? I want to hold the people that are doing it responsible. Not Jeffrey... No, not using Jeffrey. Peter Tom, who's in QA, who... I don't know if QA testers have bonuses, but have bonuses depending on how this game sells. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, do you understand what I'm trying to get at? Like, whoever these people are, the corporate heads and stuff like that, the HR departments who are not dealing with the situations, those are the people I want held responsible. Those are the people I want fired. Those are the people I want to be a light shined on their damn faces to go, this is the person that was a disgusting human being. I don't want it to be the animator who hasn't seen their kids because they're working damn hard on the next insert game here and they're just trying to do their damn job.
Yeah. No, it also you're absolutely right. It does become a question as well of, by not supporting this game, I'm also not supporting those individual people. It goes back to the Harry Potter conversation we've had with...
Fuck J.K. Rowling.
The one who shall not be named. And like...
Oh, yeah, we did agree to that, didn't we? I forgot we agreed to that. Yeah, good point.
It comes back to the situation of that, of like, there are actual people making this game, and the decision not to support the game is one that you can absolutely make, but you should go into it with like the full picture of like, there are also individuals that worked their asses off for that game that you would no longer be supporting, and that's fine because there is a long messed up thing attached to the game. So it's I want to repeat this, it is a very, very valid decision to be like, I am not supporting that. But I do think that there is some sort of depth to this.
There's a conversation to be had.
Yeah. And obviously, with Activision Blizzard, I think they just keep digging themselves up. They just keep, like, more stuff keeps coming out. There was a story that came out about people hiding cameras in the bathrooms. That's just how that happens. I have no clue, but, like, stuff just keeps coming out. And it just gets to a point where it's like, they keep making it worse for themselves. And obviously... everybody who plays these games, I think, for the most part, should be having a thought on whether do I continue playing these games or do I continue supporting them.
And that is where I think it is, Chris. Everyone should be having a thought and coming up with their own decision on what it is they choose to do. Simple. We'll leave it there. Do we answer the question? Not really. Do you think there's anything that would stop yourself and others buying...
I think we kind of did discuss it.
Yes, there are things. There are lots of things. Hope we had a decent discussion there for you, Greedy. I apologize if we didn't answer the question. Last question, which is, with the delay of both God of War and Horizon Forbidden West, how do you think Xbox will capitalize on this with the release of Halo Infinite? So, yeah, for those who don't know, apparently this is turning into my PlayStation to me because we started getting PlayStation questions all of a sudden. No, I'm joking. From Top Left, by the way. I mean, I think Xbox are in a really good position. In kinda. Go on.
Halo Infinite, as we know, is going to launch towards the end of the year. There's a possibility, and this is going to be the downside of when they're choosing to launch Halo, that it misses the Game of the Year discussion talks if it launches too late.
I don't think
so. It has to launch before November 15th.
Is that the cutoff date?
Yep. That's when Jedi Fallen Order
Yeah.
Jedi Fallen Order came out on the 15th, I think.
And they still pushed it to the year after.
Yeah. And if that happens, I think Halo Infinite is not in trouble, because I think it'll still be received well, but in trouble in terms of the Game of the Year. Because I think if it comes out this year, it is a legitimate contender for Game of the Year. From what I've played, I think there's a good opportunity it'll be in the discussion. But if it doesn't hit that cutoff date and it pushes into next year, we saw what it did with Jedi: The Fallen Order. Everybody ends up disregarding it. And then on top of that, you have a lot of games getting pushed into next year. That the competition, even if it's good, it coming out so early in the year will make it rough for Halo Infinite.
How do you think Xbox will capitalize? I don't think they really will. They're in two different lanes. I don't think Horizon being delayed does that much for Halo.
Yeah.
I think the people that were going to play Halo were going to play Halo, and the people that were going to play for Horizon are now not going to play Horizon because it's not going to be out. And maybe there'll be a tiny bit of crossover there where they're like, oh, now I've got time to play Halo actually. But I don't think, again, the people, they're two very different games. And as Xbox as a whole now, Xbox, what else have we got coming out this year apart from Halo? Psychonauts, Halo, Forza.
That's it, I think. We're probably missing something, but I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm really trying to rack my brain in terms of what else is there to come. I think that's the big one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you've got Crossfire X. It's still meant to come. Scorn. I mean, like all those other smaller titles. Not to disregard those titles, but I'm trying to think of like the big heavy hitters. Obviously, like again, you've got the Gunk. I don't think this really makes too much of a difference for Xbox.
Yeah, I also capitalizing on a game's delay is also a weird one. Because like, what could Xbox even necessarily do to capitalize on Halo other than release it earlier, right?
Yeah,
that's really the only thing. And my assumption on why they haven't announced the release date is probably more to do with Call of Duty than anything PlayStation's doing right now, because they probably wouldn't want to release Halo too close to Call of Duty, especially with it being free to play. It becomes a situation of it could come and go, that moment of where everybody's playing that game and you want as many people to download and play it because it's free.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Is there anything else we're missing? I feel like there's something big we're missing that people are going to come for us about.
I'm right there with you where I keep thinking and I keep saying Horizon, Psychonauts, Halo, Horizon, Psychonauts, Halo. And I'm like, something sounds off about it, but I think that's it. I don't think there's anything exclusive-wise, at least, that big coming out this year.
They're going to come for us, you know that, right?
Yeah. They've been coming for us, like...
a lot. It's what happens when you get bigger, Crash. They come for you. I tell you what, I'm gonna make the executive decision. We're not gonna do news this week. No, because we're gonna record again probably on Tuesday, so we can hold this news for Tuesday and then push off for the rest. We'll do what's been in your box and then we'll jump out of here. I got myself, so it was my birthday stream on the 20th of July, and we ended up streaming the 24th, and we had a goal for a steering wheel. So I got myself a Logitech G920 steering wheel and pedals, and I've been playing Formula 1.
You liking it?
Dude, no, that's just number one. Yeah, go on.
Let me say, I know you've been liking it to a degree because I've been seeing you play it while not streaming. Telltale sign. Like, that's Football Manager all over. This dude's just playing Formula One out of nowhere.
So, do you know what? I've got to give credit where credit's due to Codemaster. I'm not a Formula One guy. Wouldn't say that's a sport that I follow or know anything about. But the game's remarkable. Like, it really, really is a lot of fun. And I've got to give credit to Logitech as well. This is not sponsored or anything like that. But the steering wheel that I've got is, dude, it shakes my desk. Like, it does take a little while to get set up and get everything, the dead zone sorted and things like that. But when you have it all set up and everything's working perfectly, it's a lot of fun. I played online for the first time the other day. I'm trash. I'm finishing last, but just that progression of like trying to get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better and learning the courses and the tracks, I should say, and it's so much fun. So much fun. I'm just been doing time trials and single player Grand Prix. I haven't done the story mode yet. I haven't done the My Team mode yet. I'm just literally, it just feels like it's me on a Sunday relaxing. Every time I play the game, I get my steering wheel in, I got my pedals, and I'm just driving around this course and I'm braking and I'm skidding along and it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's like, man, I'm so happy I got this steering wheel. Can't wait for Forza. Cannot wait to drive around Mexico with this steering wheel, baby. I'm not even gonna crash. I might just play it as it's not a racing game and wait at traffic lights and just chill. I'm a bit stressed. I'm going for a drive. Haley, leave me alone. I'm going for a drive.
If you want to do that, you know what game you should try? Truck Simulator.
I thought about it.
Yeah. I saw, speaking of War Dog earlier, I saw War Dog playing that. And he just seemed to chill and play that. And I'm like, maybe that's the move for most people. That's chill and play Truck Simulator. Don't go driving in real life.
No.
You know?
And you can drink and drive that way as well.
You can drink and drive.
In the game.
In the game. We do not recommend you do that in real life. Please do not do that in real life.
In the game.
That is reckless and stupid.
In the game.
In the game.
Thank you. Okay, as long as we're clear. Jesus. Chris, that's how you know we've got professional. You know that, right? Like, we say dumb jokes and we're like, wait! In the game. In the game.
Yeah.
What else have I been playing? I'm playing a ton of Dead by Daylight. Still loving my time with that. Realize how bad I am at that game. I'm watching, so I met a couple of other streamers during something that I was doing. And I met a guy called Morph. He's one of a big Twitch partner streamer. And his main game's Dead by, and I watch him. Number one, he's probably my new favorite streamer. Period. So funny, so energetic. So better than Ninja. Yeah, you're right. No, you're on about and bar.
Yeah.
And nah. Come on, you can't do my boys like that. They're family. They don't know I exist, but they're family.
They're family, got it.
They're family. Like they're Dominic Toretto type family shit. Yeah. But no, I still watch them as well, just so you're aware. But more honestly, watching him play, I'm just like, wow. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to avoid the killer. He's got it keybind to mouse 4 on his keypad to make sure he gets his skill checks. Like, he knows he's got dude, it's just like watching a pro in in FIFA or something like that. Like, you watch it's like, how do you do this? Jedi, teach me.
I will say, whenever I happen to see somebody playing Dead by Daylight and they're good at it and they're just like walking, like dog walking the killer around, it's always just like,
that's what he does.
I don't know how you
it's
do
called
that.
looping.
Yeah, and I'm like, if I ever try and do that, I'm getting hit like 5 seconds into it.
For standing behind the killer and then like just picking me off not me, but picking the person off the hook, and then I'm just like, bro, like, you make me feel sick. I'm playing the game. I'm like try harding, bro. I'm in it. Like, come on, we gotta do this. Don't miss his skill checks, bro. I don't think I've seen him miss a skill check once.
They're built for it, man.
They're built for it. They're built different. So yeah, playing a bunch of Dead by. What else have I been playing? I think that's it. I think that's it for games that matter here. I've been playing Escape to Tarkov, but that doesn't matter here. What about you? Other than Halo, you played anything else?
I played a Game Pass game. Chris Tales, turn-based RPG. I played the demo a while ago. I was really excited for this game to come out. It's come out. I don't know if it lives quite what I want it to be. I think it does really cool mechanics with time, and that you can like wet somebody and then go into the future, and then their defenses are lowered because their armor rusts and stuff like that. And there's like cool stuff they do in that sense, but it ends up getting like a repetitive flow of combat, and it ends up feeling a little bit tedious. I'm gonna put some more time into it, so I'm not too sure where I stand on it. But so far, I enjoy it. I enjoy it for what it is, but I don't think it exceeds the sort of the scope of the concept that they've set for them in that game.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm gonna play The Ascent probably tonight. Honestly, gonna play that. What else is there? There's that. I've got Madden coming out in 10 days. Looking forward to that. And this week, of course, we've also got Back 4 Blood beta. So
yes,
very much looking forward to trying that out as well. Like, gonna be a lot of fun playing that. Gonna be streaming that as well, so that should be good. So you can follow me everywhere. There's plug and get yourself out. You can follow me everywhere at MC Fixer. If you want to check out the Back 4 Blood beta, you can. I've got codes to give away for the early access, so let me know. My friends at Intel hit me up and said, "Hey, we got some spare codes for the game. Would you like to give some away to your community?" And I was like, "Yes, please. I would love that." So we'll be giving away some codes on PC, just so you're aware. But yeah, Chris, what about you? What you got to plug?
So if you've sat here through this whole thing and you haven't gone to the YouTube page and clicked the subscribe button, I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed in you. But I am something. It starts with a D and ends with pointed in you, and you really should go click that subscribe button. And now, because you didn't do it up till this point, you should also hit the bell.
Do you know what? That's the punishment. You will know when we post. How dare you? Matt P should be back next week. So don't get us wrong. He should be back next week. I hope you enjoyed this episode of My Xbox and Me. Let us know how we can improve. Always at MC Fixer, at Kreshnik Plays, at Matt P Video, or follow us at My Xbox and Me. And yeah, until next time, you'll see us again very soon. We will love you, leave you, and see you all later. Goodbye.
Bye.